And the interesting thing is that, and I'm sure Marquez as a tall black man has gone through this before. He always gets asked every time people see him, they see how tall he is. They ask him if he plays basketball, right? That's the obvious question. And I've had to talk to him extensively and say, look, man, don't worry about what these people think. Like you be what you're supposed to be. Every black man ain't supposed to be an athlete, a comedian, or a rapper. That's what happens. We have a society where we expect black men to be athletes, comedians, and rappers. And what I like about Marques Brownlee is that this guy, he's probably, I think he's 21 years old or so 22 or something. He has accumulated an enormous amount of influence in with his tech reviews. I mean, this guy is so powerful that he literally bankrupts entire companies with his reviews. Fisker, I believe, had to file bankruptcy, or they're on the verge of bankruptcy because he reviewed their car and was like, "This is a terrible car" or something. And then the car, like, the stock just went to complete crap. And I said, this dude is really doing it. He's really getting it done. And then recently there was some sort of wearable AI device that he reviewed, where it was supposed to be AI that you put on your body or something. I don't know. And he was like, "This is the worst technology I've ever reviewed," or something. And so, like, the whole internet was in this firestorm because they were saying it was unethical for him to use his review to destroy a business, right? Now, of course, of course they come up with all that with the black man, right? Like, the black man is the one who's unethical, even though white guys do reviews all the time. But I just wanted to talk about him in the sense that I think it's really amazing and awesome that he has so much influence. I am absolutely impressed by him, and I really love it because a lot of y'all have kids that are like him. A lot of you have children that are super smart with technology. They know their way around a computer. They're supposed to be something other than all the other nonsense that everybody tells black men that they're supposed to be. And personally, I think that this is important to kind of note because a lot of times what we end up seeing is black people becoming very famous for being clowns, just being buffoons, being loud, obnoxious. You got to dribble a basketball, throw a football, or whatever. You can't just become well known for being intelligent. And I think that Marquez is a great exception to that. And there's nothing about his platform that bothers me at all as a black man. It's not like he's a black guy. It's not like he's famous because he's a black conservative that hates everything black people do. It's not like he's famous because he's a black guy who just thinks Joe Biden is Jesus Christ. He's just a guy that is famous because he's good with technology. And I respect the fact that there are people that acknowledge that, right? And I want to compare and contrast his following with a couple other young black men who have tremendous followings also. And I'm going to put their pictures on the screen. I don't know if you know these people, but you should, because I think it's important to sort of pay attention to the way the world sees you and what's kind of happening in the quote unquote culture, or why your kids might get bullied because they don't fit a certain stereotype. So let me show you another image that I want to put on the screen so you can see this. Here's a guy that also has a big YouTube following. His name is Kai Cenat. Kai Cenat, he's not similar to the other guy. He's not similar to Marques Brownlee. Kai Cenat, he's loud, he's obnoxious, he cry, he like he's always joking, he's always laughing, he's always sort of he's really kind of a modern minstrel show. Like literally, there's nothing like you can't turn on his channel and get anything that's going to give you any intellectual value. You're not going to see anything that's going to inspire you to live a better life or be a better man. Your son is not going to watch this for anything other than comic relief or just flat out goofiness or silliness. And there's another black man, Kobby Lane. Kobby Lane actually has the largest TikTok page on earth, I think, or at least he did for a while. And I went to his channel and I watched it for a while. I watched a bunch of videos and I said, okay, I get it. Another black man who's really famous because he makes white people laugh. Like there's nothing original about that. There's nothing new. If you are a thug or an idiot, the class clown, the buffoon, then there's always a place for you. Or if you're a former athlete like Club Shay Shay or something like that, then there might be space for you in that regard. But But what I love about Marquez is I like the fact that he's one of the few black men, and really Neil deGrasse Tyson's kind of in that space too, just an older version of that. He's one of the few that's in the space where he's allowed to be human. That's my point. He doesn't have to crack jokes. He doesn't have to tell you how much he hates his baby's mama. He doesn't have to go and tell you about how many black people he shot last week. He doesn't have to do any of that. He doesn't have to appear, drinking Ciroc and smoking blunts. He doesn't have to speak with broken English. He actually gets to do simple things like review a piece of technology and tell you whether it's good or bad. And I just really like that a lot. And I don't ask me exactly why I wanted to bring him up today in our financial consciousness training, but I think it's I like it also because I think that we live in a world where this is kind of rare. Like, so for example, if you go into Google and you go to a meeting at Google and they bring together all their engineers and their data scientists into this meeting, you're going to see a room full of white people, Asian people, and Indian people. That's what you're going to see. You'll probably maybe see the one black guy or the one black woman or whatever who went to Brown University or something. But generally speaking, these institutions don't look to black people, particularly black men, for tech advice. They like, what the hell can you tell me about technology? But when they're looking for entertainment, when they're having an office Christmas party and they need a rapper that's going to shake booty on Christmas Eve, they'll call the black guy. They'll call the black woman, right?